Today on CJ Off-Road, we're going to increase the boost on our 2017 Raptor and make it perform a whole lot better. The F-150 Raptor is an absolute monster right from the factory, but there's no such thing as too much power. So today we're going to be installing this AFe Power Package on our 2017 Raptor. I have Justin from AFe. What can you tell me about this power package?
So our Scorcher Power Package includes our Momentum GT air intake, comes with a Pro 5R air filter, and what really ties this whole kit together is our Scorcher GT module.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about this Scorcher.
So our Scorcher GT module is a quick, easy plug-and-play module that produces 44 horsepower and 65 pound-feet of torque by increasing the turbo boost pressure. It has a 4-position switch that mounts in the cab and can be adjusted on the fly with the push of a button. There are 3 power level settings in addition to a stock level setting.
Now, being an engineer at AFe, did you actually design this intake?
Yeah, so we had the opportunity to get a Ford Raptor in there for about a day, and we were able to scan, design, and 3D print this by the end of a week and get this back on the truck for testing.
Awesome. What can you tell me about it?
Our Momentum GT intake really revolves around the air filter. We start with the biggest air filter possible and design a housing around it. So the housing incorporates a large integrated air scoop that provides maximum airflow and increased performance.
So you get the improved airflow and performance from the Momentum GT intake and the added horsepower from the AFe Scorcher. It's going to make this truck run a whole lot better. Let's get to the installation. Tools you'll need for this installation: 1/4-inch ratchet, 7mm socket, 8mm socket, 10mm socket, 3/8 ratchet, 11mm socket, 13mm socket, an extension, and a trim removal tool. We're going to start off the installation of this power package by removing the factory intake, which is actually pretty simple. Disconnect the 2 clips on the factory airbox. Then there's 2 7mm clamps on the air intake. This one's pretty easy to get to, but the next one's kind of hard to see. Once you get that clamp loosened, the upper portion of the intake can come right off. Unplug this intake sensor and then set your intake aside. There's a 13mm bolt that secures the lower portion of the airbox that needs to be removed. Remove the 5 plastic clips from the airbox. The airbox can now pop right off. Remove the grommet from the factory airbox and transfer it over to your AFe airbox. Install the grommet into the hole into the AFe airbox. Don't forget the metal sleeve. Remove the factory intake sensor from the Y-pipe. Install the provided grommet into the AFe Y-pipe. Then install the aluminum insert. Then install the intake sensor. Twist it to lock it in place. AFe also provides this seal that gets installed onto the air inlet for a nice tight seal. Okay, it can now be installed in the truck. To avoid check engine lights, AFe provides this vent tube insert. This open section needs to face the turbo. To install it, you need to remove this driver's side PCV hose, push on the gray tab, and lift up. Then put the tube insert into the fitting, once again with the open side facing the turbo. Then reinstall the PCV hose. Install your new AFe airbox in the same place as the factory one. Install your clips at the front of the air inlet. Reinstall the factory bolt in the airbox through the grommet that you previously installed. Install your massive air filter into the airbox. Now your intake tube is ready to go on. Install your couplers and clamps onto the Y-pipe, then install it. Tighten the air filter clamp with an 11mm socket. The 4 smaller clamps get tightened with an 8mm socket. Last thing you need to do for the intake is plug in the intake sensor. One nice thing AFe does with this intake is they have an inspection window right here, so you can see when your air filter is dirty and needs cleaning, and they provide all the oil and cleaning detergent that you need. Now we can add some serious power to this rig by installing the AFe Scorcher. This shorter harness is going to connect to the T-map sensor at the front of the engine, and this longer harness is going to connect to the map sensor at the back of the engine. Locate the T-map sensor at the top of the cold side intercooler pipe right before the throttle body and disconnect the plug. Plug the female connector of the AFe harness into the body harness. Make sure you hear it click. Take the male plug on the AFe harness and plug that into the sensor. Remove the engine cover by removing the 2 10mm nuts that hold it in place and the oil cap. Locate the map sensor at the back of the intake manifold, unplug it, and then plug in the AFe harness into it. Reinstall your engine cover. The remaining connector on the Scorcher gets plugged into the provided switch. Connect them together, and then you can run the wire into the cab and set it up, or you can run it to wherever you would like. We decided to mount our Scorcher right on the side of the airbox, then we ran our wire right into the cab. We ran the wire for our AFe Scorcher, mounted the switch right here next to the ignition switch, so when you turn it on, it'll start out in green, which is stock. Hit the button and that'll take it to Sport. Then again, we'll take it to Sport Plus, and then red will be Race. And our installation's finished. Okay, we got our AFe Power Package installed on our 2017 Raptor. It made the truck perform a lot better. I can definitely feel it. Installation really wasn't that bad either. It should only take you about 2 hours, and before you know it, you'll be heading off road.